When 57-year-old billionaire Raji Malhotra married 23-year-old fashion student Anaya Sharma, it was hailed as a fairy tale. But within months, it turned into a chilling tale of control, betrayal, and a deadly night at sea. In the vibrant city of Mumbai, where luxury and ambition often collide, Raji Malhotra was a name that carried weight. At 57, he had built a real estate empire from the ground up, transforming barren plots into multi-crore high-rises and luxury resorts. Known for his charm and sharp business instincts, he was regularly featured in business magazines and invited to speak at global investment forums. His life was the envy of many. He owned 3 private jets, a fleet of luxury cars, and properties in London, Dubai, and Singapore. Despite his immense wealth and influence, one part of his life remained untouched: his personal life. Rajiv had been a widower for nearly 2 decades, and while there were rumors of short-lived relationships, none had ever become public or serious. Everything changed when he met Anaya Sharma at Charity Gala in Delhi. She was just 23, a promising fashion design student known for her minimalist style and calm demeanor. She had been invited to the event after winning a Young Designer Award, and her presence caught Rajiv's eye immediately. Despite the 34-year age gap, their connection was instant and surprising. Rajiv pursued her with lavish gestures, inviting her to exclusive events, gifting her designer accessories, and offering support for her design career. Anaya, from a modest background, was initially overwhelmed by the attention, but soon warmed up to his persistent charm. Within months, Raji proposed with a 10-carat diamond ring during a private dinner in Udaipur. Anaya accepted. Their wedding was announced in major newspapers, and preparations began for what would become one of the most extravagant weddings India had seen in years. Held at the Umaid Bhawan Palace, the ceremony cost over 50 Indian rupees crore and was broadcast live on luxury wedding platforms. Guests described it as nothing short of royalty. To the outside world, it was a perfect union: wealth, beauty, and a love story that defied age and status. But not everything perfect lasts. In the weeks following the wedding, the fairy tale began to lose its shine. Anaya, once active on social media and engaged with her growing community of fashion enthusiasts, suddenly disappeared from the public eye. Her Instagram account went private, her posts were deleted, and she stopped responding to messages from friends and classmates. Many assumed she was adjusting to married life, but those who knew her best felt something was wrong. Her college roommate, who had spoken to her regularly before the wedding, said their conversations had abruptly stopped without explanation. Whispers began to circulate among Mumbai's elite. Anaya was rarely seen at events she used to attend with excitement. When she did appear at public functions with Rajiv, she stood quietly by his side, rarely speaking and never smiling. Insiders began to speak of a growing sense of control within the Malhotra household. It was said that Rajiv had a team of staff who monitored his wife's movements, managed her schedule, and even intercepted her personal messages. There were rumors of a tracking app installed on her phone, and security guards assigned more to watch her than to protect her. At the same time, Rajiv's business empire began to experience turbulence. Government agencies launched audits on several of his companies. Anonymous tips had triggered investigations into potential financial misconduct, including suspected shell companies and offshore bank accounts. Though nothing was proven, the pressure was mounting. Still, Rajiv maintained his public image: a loyal husband, a successful tycoon, and a man untouched by scandal. Anaya's family remained quiet. They lived in Delhi and had never been close to the Malhotra social world. Friends of the family later said they were concerned but unsure how to intervene. After all, Anaya had married into unimaginable wealth. From the outside, it looked like she had everything. But behind closed doors, the cracks were beginning to show. 3 months after the wedding, Rajiv planned what was supposed to be the ultimate romantic gesture: a private yacht trip off the coast of Goa to celebrate Anaya's 24th birthday. He chartered the Sea Mirage, a 200-foot luxury vessel equipped with every possible amenity: a helipad, 2 jacuzzis, a private theater, and a full staff, including a personal chef, deckhands, and a steward trained in luxury hospitality. The trip was meant to be exclusive. Only Rajiv, Anaya, and the 5-person crew were on board. No friends, no media, just a secluded getaway for the newlyweds. According to the crew's statements later, the first 2 days passed without incident. Raji was seen doting on Anaya, organizing elaborate meals, and spending long hours lounging with her on the upper deck. Anaya remained quiet but polite. She spent a lot of time in her cabin or staring out at the sea. The atmosphere, while calm, felt unusually subdued for what was meant to be a birthday celebration. The crew noticed she seemed distracted, as if something was weighing on her. On the third night, everything changed. At 11:47 p.m., a distress call was made from the yacht's emergency line. Raji reported that Anaya had fallen overboard. He claimed they had been standing on the upper deck, enjoying the moonlight, when she lost her balance and slipped into the sea. The crew immediately activated emergency protocols. A search operation began within minutes. Boats and helicopters were dispatched from the nearest Coast Guard station. They searched through the night and into the next day. No body was found. The police were notified, and Rajiv gave his official statement hours later. He was calm, emotional, and cooperative. The incident was quickly labeled a tragic accident. No foul play was suspected at the time. The story made headlines across India, and condolences poured in. But something didn't sit right with everyone. Back in Mumbai, as the news of Anaya's disappearance spread, public sympathy slowly turned into suspicion. While many mourned the tragedy, others began asking questions that the initial reports had glossed over. Why was there no surveillance footage from a yacht? Why was Anaya, a poor swimmer by her own admission, left unsupervised near the railings late at night? And why was Rajiv, a man known for micromanaging everything in his life, so quick to dismiss the need for an extended search? The media began digging. A journalist from a national outlet obtained access to the preliminary medical files from the yacht's onboard medic, files that were never meant to be public. In them were notes about bruises on Anaya's arms and upper back, noted earlier in the day, well before she had supposedly fallen overboard. The bruises were written off as minor injuries, but the timing raised alarms. Then came a turning point in the investigation. Anaya's father, Dev Sharma, received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a printed copy of the couple's prenuptial agreement, something he and his wife had never seen. It stated that if Anaya filed for divorce within 5 years of marriage, she would receive no share of Rajiv's assets. However, if she died during the marriage, a 100 Indian rupees crore life insurance policy, recently updated and signed, would be paid directly to Rajiv. The policy had been filed just 2 weeks before their wedding. The source of the envelope remained unknown, but a forensic analysis of the document's metadata revealed it had been accessed from Rajiv's office computer 3 days before Anaya's birthday trip. Pressure on the authorities mounted. The Goa police, now under intense media and political scrutiny, reopened the case. They re-interviewed the crew, who this time gave inconsistent details about the events leading up to Anaya's fall. The truth was beginning to unravel. As the investigation intensified, disturbing details from Rajiv Malhotra's past began to surface. Though he had always maintained the image of a respectable businessman, cracks appeared in the polished facade. Years ago, his first wife, Meera Malhotra, had died in a mysterious car accident during a trip to Shimla. At the time, it was declared an accident caused by brake failure, but her parents had quietly questioned the circumstances. With no solid evidence in Rajiv's considerable influence, the case was closed without further inquiry. Now, With Anaya's case under fresh scrutiny, Mira's name reappeared in news reports, drawing eerie parallels between the two women's fates. Both had died under suspicious circumstances within a few years of marriage, and both had large insurance policies tied to their deaths. As pressure mounted, Rajiv grew increasingly elusive. Just days before he was due for another police interview, he left the country on a supposed business trip to Switzerland. Authorities later discovered he had used a private jet to fly to the Maldives and then disappeared using a fake identity. He never boarded the return flight. A red corner notice was issued by Interpol, but Rajiv had vanished without a trace, along with over 300 Indian rupees crores siphoned from shell companies under his name. Then, 2 months after the yacht incident, a breakthrough came. A fisherman off the coast of Ratnagiri discovered a partially decomposed body tangled in his fishing net. DNA testing confirmed it was Anaya Sharma. The autopsy revealed blunt force trauma to the back of her head, evidence that directly contradicted Raji's claim of an accidental fall. Her death was officially ruled a homicide. Despite the confirmation of murder, Raji remained at large. His whereabouts are still unknown. For Anaya's family, justice has yet to be served. Her case remains open, a chilling reminder that behind wealth and glamour, the darkest secrets often hide in plain sight.